Autoscaling group. Registering your autoscaling group with an elastic load balancing load balancer helps you set up a load balanced application. Elastic load balancing works with Amazon EC2 autoscaling to distribute incoming traffic across your healthy Amazon EC2 instances. This increases the scalability and availability of your application. You can enable elastic load balancing within multiple availability zones to increase default tolerance of your application. Elastic load balancing supports different types of load balancers. As prerequisites, a load balancer and a target groups are needed. Make sure to choose the same availability zones for the load balancer that you plan to use for your autoscaling group. A security group for your launch template or launch configurations. The security group must allow access from load balancer on both the listener port, usually port 80 for HTTP traffic, and the port that you want elastic load balancing to use for health checks. For more, optionally, if your instances will have public IP addresses, you can allow SSH traffic for connecting to the instances. An IAM rule that grants your application access to AWS. An Amazon machine image defined as a source template for your Amazon EC2 instance. To create one now, launch an instance, specify the IAM rule and any configuration scripts that you need as user data. Connect to the instance and customize it. For example, you can install software and applications, copy data, and attach additional EBS volumes. Test your application on your instance to ensure that it's configured correctly. Save this updated configuration as the custom AMI. If you don't need the instance later, you can terminate it. Instances launched from this new custom AMI include the customization that you made when you created the AMI. And last but not the least, a virtual private cloud as a prerequisite. At minimum, you must have 2 public subnets available to create a load balancer. You must also have either 2 public subnets or 2 private subnets to create your autoscaling group and register it with your load balancer. So the step 1 is to set up a launch template or launch configuration. For this, log in into your AWS Management Console. Open the launch template page of the Amazon EC2 console. On the navigation bar at the top of the screen, choose the region where the load balancer was created. Select launch template. Select a launch template. Launch templates. And create launch template. On the navigation bar, At the top of the screen, choose the region where the launch balancer was created. Choose Create Launch Template. Enter the name and provide a description for the initial version of Launch Template. For Amazon Machine Image AMI, enter the ID. For instance type, select the hardware. Configuration for your instances that is compatible with the AMI that you are specified. For key pair login, choose the key pair to use when connecting to your instances. For network settings, choose Add Network Interface. For auto assign public IP, choose Add Network Interface. For auto assign public IP, keep the default value. When you create your autoscaling group, you can assign a public IP address to instances in your autoscaling group by using subnets that have the public IP addressing attributes enabled, such as the default subnets in the default VPC. Alternatively, if you do not need to connect to your instances, you can choose Disable to prevent instances in your group from receiving traffic directly from the internet. In this case, they will receive traffic only from the load balancer. For the security group's ID, specify the security group for your instances from the same VPC as the load balancer. For delete on termination, choose Yes. This deletes the network interfaces when the auto-scaling group scales in and terminates the instances to which the network interface is attached. To securely distribute credentials to your instances, for advanced details, IAM instance profile, enter the Amazon resource name ARN of your IAM role. To specify user data or the configuration script for your instance, paste it into advanced details and user data. Choose Create Launch Template. On the confirmation page, choose Create Autoscaling Group. To select an existing launch configuration, open the launch configuration page of the Amazon EC2 console. On the navigation bar, at the top of the screen, choose the region where the load balancer was created. and select a launch configuration. We'll select this. Well, next. Launch configuration.